All right, welcome back to the Ask Mama podcast where I let the internet ask my mama questions. My name is Melody Angel.
I'm Mama Stephanie.
And I'm Lamar.
All right, y'all. Well, we're going to get right into the Ask Mama questions. And unless you've been sleeping under a rock, you might have heard about March Madness, which is when all the colleges get together and play basketball, men and women, and a champion team is at the end of the rainbow and all of that good stuff, right? And for me, I have played basketball my whole life. I coached high school and at the collegiate level, so I love basketball and I love women's basketball especially. I never miss a game. I'm always watching, so I'm an avid sports enthusiast, especially basketball. So I think I have a good background for this. There's been a lot of talk about Caitlin Clark this year, or, probably the last 4 years. And she's a basketball player at Iowa. And she's one of the best shooters I've ever seen. I can hands down say she is one of the best shooters I've ever seen play the game of basketball. However, I feel that it's been completely disingenuous and extremely disrespectful that both the media, I'll say white media specifically, and white people have elevated this young lady, and the only reason is because she's white and happens to be really good at basketball. And they have pushed aside the main storyline that should have been the storyline, which is the South Carolina Gamecocks, coached by Dawn Staley. They had an undefeated season. They won 38 games in a row, and then won the championship. Dawn Staley, this is her third championship. She is the only black coach, male or female, to win 3 championships. I have followed sports my whole life. This is the storyline. This should have been the storyline, the main storyline. Everybody in America should know the starting 5 of South Carolina. But they don't. And the reason they don't is because the media chose to highlight someone else who lost and who never won a championship. And it just went on and on throughout this entire March Madness. Every commercial was a Caitlin Clark commercial. Everything. And then they tell you, well, she's elevated the game. I understand that, but what I want to talk about is why. Why did she elevate the game? Because she's a straight white woman who plays a game well. And it gives racist white people someone to amplify, someone to say, yes, she's better than the blacks. Let's put her on and do this, that, and the third. Let's throw money at her. Let's throw sponsorship deals at her.
That's sick.
This is blatantly done. And they talk about us. And when I say they, I'm talking about racist white people. They say, oh, y'all make everything about race. No, you make everything about race.
I'm afraid they do.
This was your great white hope, and she lost. And you still couldn't take it. The Iowa fans, who are some of the racist people I've ever seen, do you know that today there are Iowa fan websites talking about how it wasn't fair that Iowa lost because they believe that some of the South Carolina players aren't women.
That's awful.
Terrible.
They're all women.
So you think that might be, I don't know, a racist statement, a despicable statement and stance, and still yet You want us to believe that it is us who's making this about race? And I know, yes, this is my first rant on our show. It won't be the last. But how dare you? How dare the media pretend like these amazing women, these amazing young black women don't exist?
They awesome.
How dare you pretend like these girls losing is somehow, it wasn't a real loss because they didn't play fair.
Right.
It's so despicable.
They played fair, baby.
I mean,
Really
I'll
did.
put it to y'all too, because you can get in on this. I'm very upset. And I'm just sick of the condescending nature of how racist white people move. You know what I'm saying? They tried to make it seem like it's us making everything about race. Y'all came out to these games and more people watched Iowa play their games in
Record
March
number.
Madness than ever before.
Wow.
People who never watch basketball a day. Now, how did I start this out? I started out by telling you I never miss a game. I've seen all of these games all year long. I am a real fan of women's basketball. But you got millions of white people who never tuned in to a women's game, tuning in just to see the whites beat the blacks. Like this was the
So
conversation online. So don't try to tell me that we're making it up in our head and that this is just us making stuff about race. I'm sick of it.
It's
awful.
sad.
It's
It's
awful.
just sad. It was a great game. Those girls, North Kakalaki,
South
Carolina, they were incredible to watch. And Dawn is absolutely my favorite. I wish Cheryl Miller was a coach, but she's not. But I absolutely loved it. And it's really a shame that the system of racism is always at work. It's like you can't get away from it. And that, to me, is the travesty. You can't even play a game and get away from the systematic racism.
And
It's
nobody
disgusting.
is trying to take away anything from this girl being a good player
Right.
or a great shooter. But understand that she has been elevated not for her greatness, but for her whiteness.
That's sick.
The combination of being good and white,
Yeah.
where that gets you in life, is the systemic racism that we talk about on this show every week.
Yeah.
And y'all's ability to pretend like the privilege doesn't exist doesn't negate that
That's
the privilege
ridiculous.
does exist.
It absolutely exists.
And that is a blatant representation and depiction of the privilege.
Absolutely.
Because
it
you
is.
have the privilege to act like it doesn't exist. And you say it lurks around every corner. Racism is the very foundation of this country.
It is.
Okay? So in order for us to make it better, we have to heal it. But we're talking about generations and generations of mental illness.
Yeah.
And America refuses to
Yeah.
treat this as what it is.
You can't.
It's awful.
You can't treat what you don't acknowledge.
Yeah, they say they
So-
want it to be better. They say they want to move
Can't-
on. They always talking. Elon Musk talking about let's just move on. You won't let us move on, sir, because you think that your airplane pilot that's black is gonna crash the plane.
Right.
Because a black man or a woman couldn't possibly know how to fly an airplane.
Are you kidding? Get out.
Or be your surgeon
Oh.
when the first heart surgery was done
Oh,
by a black man, thought up
that's
and
facts.
done by a black man, but you don't want a black man to be your doctor. So this is what I'm talking about.
God.
They say they want some other kind of world. They want peace
You
and
can
they
be
want to
mad.
move on, but they are always reassuring us that will never happen. And this March Madness scenario, this South Carolina versus Iowa, a game for millions of white people to tune in just to see a black team go down. That's so sick.
They didn't. And they didn't.
And I knew they wasn't going to do it, because if you're an actual basketball fan, you would know that there was no way South Carolina was going to lose that game. They are the best. That's why they're undefeated. But did they get that respect from the media or from you? No, absolutely not. And why? Because majority of the team is black.
Not the respect, not even the recognition.
Or the money. Because why wasn't any of the South Carolina players in all these commercials? Because you don't value us, right? We can't make you can make more money with a white girl than you can a black girl. But don't nobody want to talk about that. Doesn't that have something to do with the popularity of Caitlin Clark? I wonder. A Midwest white girl. I think that sounds like advertising dollars. And I would know because I have a marketing degree.
Yeah.
We're going to move on because I'm already hot and we ain't even started. We're going to have to open a window in here. We're going to move on. But you know what's real. You know what's right. You live in America, you know where you are. And you know what's going on. And just know that black people, we know that you know. So every time you try to pretend like, oh, I didn't think that was racist. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
That's that's why Beyonce put that song, that country song out. She got booed at the CMAs before. They ain't booing now because it's number one not only in the U.S.
Wow.
All over.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Her money and power position trumped. Pardon the pun.
Yeah, she didn't have
racism.
She ain't had to go through what the other black countries musicians are going through.
Right.
Yeah.
By not getting any play on radio and any kind of help during shows or whatever. There are many black country singers, songwriters, and bands.
Been out.
So anyway, Lamar, why don't you give us the second question for Ask Mama?
All right. So the second question is, what do you think about the escalation of men promising more violence in reaction to the 4B movement in the U.S.?
What do I say about that? I'm so appalled. They had the eclipse. Too bad the lights didn't come back on and they disappeared. I mean, what in the world are you thinking? What are you going to do now? Force women? SM?
That's what they're saying.
This is really sick. I know it's getting worse. I did hear about in New York, somebody's walking around just punching women in the face. You know what I'm saying? If my daddy were alive and saw a man, he would chase him down himself.
She's speaking about a real man, by the way.
And, for a man to just punch a woman in the face and take off running. I mean, what kind of nut are you? And what is that going to accomplish? That's my thing. But anybody that would say we're going to be more violent like that, mental illness, like you said, is real. People really, I would tell kids that are in school, be a psychiatrist, because the world seems to be needing that more and more and more. Mental illness is what I say. And I wouldn't care what they pulled out. You wouldn't force me. And you really can't. You can't get the heart of a person with a gun or a punch in the face.
Oh my gosh.
Despicable.
It never seems to surprise me the depths that society is going. It's like it's in complete breakdown and dysfunction. And that it boggles my mind. I can't believe it. Like, it just leaves me for a loss of words.
Yeah.
Also, we talk about the fact, and I know we talked about this last episode, about the fact that men feel entitled.
That's sick.
You know, like, you don't tell me no. How you going to tell me that you're going to have control over your body? What are you talking about?
That's the patriarchy.
Yeah.
At work. Sure.
Oh,
And I cannot believe that. These days, we don't have men that'll chase somebody down for hitting a woman.
Yeah, my daddy chasing you down. You don't hit no woman and take off running.
You know, this guy posted a video, and he said, and I think that I do want to salute the men that are out there on TikTok and Reels speaking directly to these I can't even call them men.
Psychopaths.
I don't know, these
Animals.
dudes, these guys that are out here. And he said, you know, I really want to ask y'all a question. He's speaking to other men.
Wow.
And he said, do y'all even like women? Because when I was growing up, like, all we wanted to do was be around girls. And all y'all talking about is, yeah, just got to stick together with the fellas and, you know, girls ain't nothing and this, that. He's like, you know, I just don't understand. We used to just want to be around them. We used to be trying to figure out how we could get around more girls. We used to try to put our clothes together and get our haircuts and do our thing to try and think of stuff to say to them. And, you know, I think, and he was basically saying, I think a lot of y'all red pill dudes, and I have to agree, I think it's something to it. He said, I think y'all is actually gay. And instead of admitting you're gay, you're out here on a rampage hating women because you really just want to be with the boys for real.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, there's something to that. I think these red pill dudes are secretly gay.
Yeah.
Because they hate women. Because I don't hate men.
Right.
Even though I've seen men do some of the most horrific things, I know that all men aren't that way. Right. I know that because of my grandfather, both my grandfathers. I know that because of my uncle or D. I know that because I have real memory, real representation of men. And so, but these guys have mothers that they care about and love and everything, and yet they still hate women to the point where they will literally go out and commit SA if they don't give them what they want. And these dudes, these red pill dudes, these are the guys that don't nobody want anyway. They're mad because women don't want them.
Right.
Well, I think red pill guys are not. It's something else wrong with them because gay men love women.
Mama,
Real gay
I'm
men.
talking about gay
Closeted.
men, closeted gay men. I'm not talking about
repressed.
gay men.
Oh,
Of
repressed
course not.
gay
I'm
men.
saying instead of admitting
'Cause
you're gay, you're out here on a hate rampage for women. I'm just saying there is a segment in there.
I've seen it.
You think
firsthand.
Yeah.
Men that I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
minute.
Some ain't right. With that, you have a disdain.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of men I think that's one aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then
That's
two, a lot of men, for women, as far as they think about women as an object.
Yes.
They objectify
That's
them.
the other
you
half.
are only used and good for this.
Right.
Anything else, whatever, you're not good for.
Right.
It's in our music though.
Yeah.
Not making an excuse for it.
No.
But it's in our music. It is in our imagery. It is in our, these video games that they playing.
Because men make that music. Men make those video games. Men are behind everything that is hateful towards women.
Exactly. Let's not forget these platforms that these men have on these social media pages.
Oh yeah.
And you know what?
Huge platforms.
And huge followings. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I heard, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that most of the female rappers' lyrics, men wrote them.
Yes.
Now, is that true?
That is definitely true because that's how they get on. It's the same as back in the day when it was about the producer. You'd go to the producer, they'd have these songs, they'd give them to you to sing, It's the same way in rap.
Wow.
They have these songs they wrote. They'll give them to you to rap, and that's your ticket in. And if you don't play ball, they'll just get some other girl to read the lyrics. So yes,
That
a
is
lot of,
sick.
not all, because some of these female rappers, they definitely are spitting their own lyrics. I do
Right.
not want to get involved in that.
Right.
But a lot of these girls that are out here rapping definitely are getting their stuff written by the
Nah.
producers of their records.
Isn't that something?
Oh yeah.
And you can clearly
Hear
find
it.
this out because it's at the bottom of every song. The songwriter, who's getting the writing credits for those songs, and
That's
then you see,
messed
oh,
up.
it's some dude named Marcus.
Oh my
So,
God.
But it's
Yeah.
real.
It's real.
This is real.
But you know, also these women are like, you know, before the 4B movement was called a movement, we were really already doing this because smart, educated, well-adjusted women, I'm speaking of myself and my friends now, we have that mindset of back in the day.
Right.
Millennial women, we are not settling because we know we don't have to.
Right.
And I'm talking about educated, well-adjusted women now. I'm not talking about the thoughts
Right.
out there.
Oh.
I'm not talking about the little idiots that will let a man do whatever to them, right? I'm talking about us.
Yeah.
Right? We're not settling. We don't have to. We do not want to be treated badly.
Right.
Life is already hard enough for black women.
Oh, yeah.
You think I'm going to bring you into my life to make it worse?
That's
You have
insane.
lost your entire mind.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And that's where we're at. So if you coming for me, at this point, I wish, this leads me to my next point. I wish I had a leg to stand on. I wish I had more of my family, the men in my family. I wish I felt them. I wish I felt they had my back, you
Yeah.
know. And
Right.
I do have some men in my family that have my back, but they live far away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's also an issue for a lot of young black women. Is that even the men in our family don't be looking out for us.
Right.
That's sick,
We
too.
don't even think about how dangerous it is for us. They don't check in with us. Are you okay? How
Don't
you
care.
been? Is anything going on? You dating somebody? Like if I was a man and I had a niece or a sister or something
Yeah.
or a daughter, you telling me I wouldn't be calling her at least once a month just to check in to see what's
You
going
okay?
on with you? Do you need anything? Is
Yeah.
anybody bothering you?
Right. Right.
Did you recently have a breakup? Who is the dude you dating? Like, men in your family used to want to know these things so they could make sure you were well protected within your family.
Right.
That's
But
right.
they don't do that. Don't nobody care. I ain't saying nobody. Because I hate when you say
Most
that. And
of
then,
'em.
I'm saying most.
Don't care.
Right.
Like, you know, I know who to call when I'm in trouble.
Right.
But that list gets shorter and shorter every
certainly
year.
does.
So I think also a part of this is the black men in families. Are you taking care of the women in your own family?
But you know, it's so much breakdown with that in the black
is.
community.
That's what I'm
though.
saying. That's
It
what I'm
is a
saying.
break.
That is exactly what I'm saying is a part of this problem. Because if you won't even protect the women in your family, if they're not a high priority, how is
Then-
a stranger, a woman you just met at a club,
They're not.
or went
She's-
out on a random date with, you don't have respect for the women in your family?
She's not.
She's
And
not
that is
priority.
why this has escalated to where that's why we're talking about this the second week in a row.
This
Right.
is
We're
sick.
talking about an escalation of something we talked about last week.
Right. And-
Because it's getting worse.
And this is something that they're announcing.
Yeah,
Like-
they're fully announcing it online
gosh.
every single day.
This
There's
is sick.
more and more videos spewing out hate. And you would think, so this is my point too, right? So all this is going on, right? And we all have phones. We all know what's trending on TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. So we know that this 4B movement is happening, that all of this stuff. You would think the men in your family would be like, uh-oh,
Right.
let me check in with my people.
Right. No.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Nope.
They don't know.
My Rottweiler would have checked in on me quicker
Your
than
dog
that.
is better protection.
Because I'm going to tell you,
I need to get a dog.
If somebody had punched, I'm walking down the street, somebody punched me in the face, they're dead.
Their
Because
jugular would
he
be
gonna
pulled
catch
out
you.
like a cartoon. Okay?
Yeah, they gonna catch you, bring it back to me
Yeah.
with their little collar and just
here
say,
you go.
okay, we can
that
go
leads
now.
me to
'Cause-
protection for women. What
Yeah.
can y'all do? If you don't want to get a gun, I would suggest a dog.
Yeah.
But we
But-
need actual protection out here.
He better
Because
be
we
trained,
can
though.
no longer
'Cause-
depend on men. And even when you're
Woo.
out, like let's take it all the way back. Like even when I would, in my mind, when I decide to go somewhere, I have to weigh the pros and cons of like where it is, the address, the zip code.
Yes.
Like, I weigh those pros and cons, right? But also what I weighed was, well, who else is going to be there? And in my mind, I would think, okay, well, if this is this kind of party and it's going to be a whole bunch of black dudes, if in my mind I said, now I had to go back to college. So in my mind, I would say, okay, a whole bunch of black dudes going to be there too, I'm going to go. Because if anything go down, them dudes got my back. Even if I don't know them. In my mind.
Yes.
19, 21 years old, that era.
Right.
In my mind, that's what I believe.
Yes.
But ask me today.
You ain't going.
I ain't going.
Right.
Because if something happened, which it will, because some ugly dude gonna come up to me that I don't want, and I'm gonna have to tell him something like, oh, I'm married, I got a boyfriend, I'm in love, this, that, and third. He's still gonna take it wrong and come at me crazy. And these other dudes are just
Nuts.
gonna watch it happen.
Now,
And pull out their phone and laugh.
Now, mind you, so, and I'm glad that you brought this up
Ooh,
because
that's
I have
sick.
experienced this
God.
firsthand with a female friend that I was out with. And this dude who was a part of, it was like a gathering of mutual friends.
Oh, my
You know, and okay, I know you through her. I know him through you. Okay. So we were all together, and my friend was sitting here, and the dude came over, and I thought upon, first impression, oh, nice guy. You know, let's, okay, girl, go ahead. Okay. So,
Right.
But I'm listening the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
And not to be nosy, but I know that this could go
could hear 'em.
either
Yeah.
way.
Right.
So I just want to make sure, okay, but let me check in. Let me kind of keep my ear to what's going on. He's, trying to push up on her and, hey, we should go out and you got a man and blah, blah, blah. She's expressing to him, I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
Right.
He's saying in response to her, no, forget that. Forget that. No,
Yeah, that's
And
how it
she's
go.
like, well, wait a minute. And so I'm listening to this.
Forget that.
And it's a
Just hold
whole
on.
bunch of people, all of his friends that know him. No one is saying anything. And so I finally have to interject and be like, I think that you're making her uncomfortable. And he stopped right then and there, even when it was me that had to interject. If
Right.
more
Sick.
men stepped up to the plate, all you
Yeah.
got to do is
Yeah.
say, hey, I think you need to just calm down. You're
But
making
like
her,
I said-
but they pulling out their phones and it's a show.
That's not.
Oh
they
my
don't.
God.
You're not getting that. You might get that, but you're taking a huge risk if you're depending on other men in the room coming to your aid
That's
in today's
unfortunate.
society, and that's the transition. That's the transit. The transition. That's like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, it's
I
not
thought
that long.
that 5 or 6 years ago.
No.
Well,
And now it's this.
Yeah.
well,
So that's how quick it went away. Even in my own mind, like of where I'm safe, how I'm safe, what I can do, what I can't do. If it ain't in the light of day, I ain't going.
That's crazy.
Unless it's a show that I'm performing in.
So what do we, because my whole thought process is, I know I was raised a certain type of way, and here I am, a gay man, got to interject with you
Right.
and this straight
Right.
dude.
Gay
that
men will come to your aid.
They
Let me
will.
just say that. Gay men will come to your aid. And I appreciate them for that because
Yeah.
I have definitely been saved out of some scary situations in my life because a gay man saw what was going on and came up and said, hey,
what you doing?
what's the problem?
But they love women.
And
Yeah.
so And so, but that's what I'm
Ain't they
saying.
cra-
Like,
well,
underneath everything else, it comes back to what that other man said, that straight man who said, do y'all even like women?
That's what it
like,
is.
what is wrong with y'all?
That's
Why
the
are
difference.
y'all so hateful? They ain't done nothing to you. You mad because they're not interested in you. And then this is what happened to me on TikTok. So I liked that video, right? And the algorithm started working. And then I started, all up in my feed was these women recording these men with their phone, man after man, just hundreds of videos of men going off on them because they said no to a date or they said no to giving out their number. This one guy actually followed this girl home. This is a different story. I know I told something like this before, but this is actually a different story. And this is on video.
oh my God.
She comes out of her house like, what are you doing here? You follow me home? And he was like, yeah, because I needed to see, what's up. And she was like, what you mean? And he was like, yeah, I mean, I took you out to dinner. That was like a real good meal. I mean, I should get something after that.
Yeah, I'm going to give you something.
And he literally was like, she pulled out her phone like this so he could see she was recording it. She's like, oh, you got your phone out? I mean, yeah, this shoot, a lot of girls would be, I mean, that wasn't free. That was a lot of money I just spent on you. And she was like, yeah, but you asked me out.
Right.
What are you doing? It's like, I definitely don't want to go out with you again. I mean, I barely even liked you after the date.
He could have killed her.
And she's sitting out in front of her house, and he's like, yeah, you just one of them, girl. You just wanted a free meal. You just one of them broke bees, called a bee, all this stuff. He's going off because she didn't give it up on the first date.
God.
He's literally a grown man standing outside this girl's house. Now, she was crazy because she should have just called the police.
Right.
I
Should have opened the door.
I'm going to tell you this. Y'all girls who think having this phone up
That ain't
is some
good
kind
enough.
of protection.
No, honey.
Girl, if he smashes it and kills you,
What
who's
then?
posting that?
Right.
What do you think is going to happen?
Right.
They might
You're
find
going
them,
to be
but-
dead.
Right.
Either way.
Right.
Don't come out of your house. When you see they have
God.
followed you home,
Child.
you call
Followed
the
you home.
police. You
And-
don't take that as, let me put you on black. And I'm saying this because I saw another video of a girl. She was at
That's
work.
insanity.
And this dude was at her counter. And she was like, get out of here. And she had him on camera too. She was at work. Now you talk about a place where you can't just leave.
Right.
She's behind a counter where you know she's the one working.
Exactly.
And this dude is harassing her at her job.
Oh, my
So I mean,
God.
it's just video after video. And all these girls is doing is saying no. You can't even say no to them.
Yeah.
Without
It's
your
dangerous.
life being on the
Dangerous
line.
saying
And
no.
these other so-called men who say they real men and would never do that, but you got friends that would. You got brothers that would. And if you're just some miracle baby who's never met a man like this,
Yeah.
have you checked in with the women in your family?
Yeah,
See
that's
how
who
that
you
comes
check
right
with.
back around? Why don't you ask some of them what they're going through?
Right. Have they ever experienced it? Because a lot of these guys might hide that from their boys.
Not really though.
Some
No.
of them.
They because they hang out with each other. See, that's the
I
other
said
thing.
some of them
And
might
A
hide
lot of
that.
these dudes hang out with each other.
And even because it's so prevalent, you're seeing it all over the place. I
That's
know y'all
crazy.
seeing this happening
Yeah.
to women.
And you can't if it's trending. Let's not pretend like we don't know what trending is.
Right.
Like we're from like the freaking 60s or
okay.
something. Like everybody knows what trending means. That means you've seen it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
sick.
We're
You
all
know about
seeing
it. You just don't care. And you're a part of the problem too.
So you need to get a hold of your older guys, get your nephews, your sons, find out what they're
And check
doing.
in with the women in your family
Yeah.
since you such a man. But you don't protect the women in your family though.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
Ooh, this is
Anyway,
Y'all ain't
we
said
are
nothing
moving
wrong.
on to the next question. The next question is, What are some key indicators that someone is leading you on when dating?
Kind of never, if they don't share personal space, maybe. We always gonna meet at a restaurant. You can't go to their house. Those would be red flags to me, because if you're dating, it should progress. So if it doesn't progress, something's going on. If you can't see where a person lives, go to their house, they come to your, as it progresses, of course. Meeting, if you're not meeting people like friends, close friends of theirs or family, those will be red flags to me, because you should. If it's, say it's a big game or something and everybody's getting together. No, I don't want you to come. But he's going to this big game event, but you can't go. Excluding you from big events or, that's red flag to me.
Yeah. I would definitely say inconsistency in communication. Not really, wanting to really communicate at all. Or if you do reach out, it's very short, deflecting or kind of, not really engaged. Just kind of like, oh, well, you have something to do right now. You're a rebound. But, not really giving you much energy at all or time or anything. Right. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's all of those things are right. I think emotionally you would definitely know immediately, because that means that they've never been vulnerable with you. Somebody that is leading you on has never told you a secret, never told you anything of merit, never told you like, oh, my father was mean to me when I was a kid, or, I was adopted, and or, something that is vulnerable. They have given you no vulnerable information. You're not important, and you probably won't be. Yeah. So there's, all of those are indicators, but I think emotionally, and I think that's how you know for sure. Like, those things, in the world things, physical things, like never meeting friends or family, or maybe not coming to their house. Those are things you can kind of clock, but as they occur. But one-on-one, you'll know the emotional part of this before anything else, to me, because it's only you two in those moments. And if you're sharing stuff, real stuff about your life and what you've been through, and they never reciprocate,
that is sick.
It's a wrap. Yeah. Like you're somebody that they're trying to sleep with, or much. That they want to continue sleeping with if y'all have already been there. And I think this happens a lot when people have crushes on people. I think that usually happens, like you like them more than they like you. You started it, you pushed it, and they probably were just like, well, if she's giving it up, that kind of thing. Like, because dudes do that all the time.
God, yes.
And so, and girls do it too. Girls can use a dude as well. I'm not saying that. But usually it starts off because you've got a crush on somebody, so it's built up for you.
That's right.
And it's not built up for them.
Yeah.
They're you put yourself on a platter, and they took it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And it's hard to acknowledge sometimes, because you're happy that they like you, or that they said they liked you, and you want it to work out, because in your mind, when you have a crush, you lift them up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see things for what they are.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Do you think that infatuation and that that interest can flip?
It can.
Yeah,
but
it could.
It definitely could once they got to know you. But like I said, if they're not giving back that vulnerability, it's not happening. That means it didn't flip. You see what I'm saying?
And it
that
could
means
flip.
that it did not, like.
Right.
there's definitely been guys that had crushes on me, and I wasn't really interested at first. Then I went out with them, and I was like, oh, this is, you a cool dude. I didn't really think that. I didn't think it going in.
Yeah.
But I found out, okay, he's cool, blah, blah, blah. And, it didn't work out or whatever, because as we went forward, we realized we just didn't have enough in common. I realized that. Even though he was a good dude, and I didn't really know that he, liked me like that or whatever, but I understood that he liked me more than I liked him. And I felt uncomfortable by that. So I ended it because I don't want to lead anyone on.
Right.
I knew it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Not for me. And I believe that if you know that somebody really likes you and you just kind of, they're okay.
Don't leave.
I don't believe in that. I shut that down because I started feeling bad
That's
about
not nice.
being with them.
It's just not.
Even just to have fun or just to have somebody to hang out with or whatever. Because when you meet somebody nice, that's another thing. When you meet somebody nice, it's kind of hard to get him up. Even though you're not serious about them, it's hard to give him up because it's so unsafe out here.
Yeah.
So when you meet a nice guy,
Sure is.
you're like, man, I want to go out. I want to hang out and do some stuff. He's nice. I mean, he's not really for me. You know what I mean? But once I know, and it's cool if we both are like that. If we're both casual about it and we're just trying to hang out a little bit and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But if I know you like me like a whole lot, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't hang out.
Because you're going to get your heart broken.
I'm not doing that to
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's worth a shot,
Yeah.
especially if they're nice and a good person. You might get over. I've seen people get over. I didn't like him at all, and they get over because the person is so nice and
Yeah, I get it.
it
But
can happen. But if it doesn't happen, yes,
you gotta
end
you
it.
gotta let it. I mean, like I said,
You gotta end it.
You still gotta have other stuff in common. Like for me, it was just he was nice, cool, whatever, but we just didn't have enough in common. I like certain things. I laugh at certain things. Like our sense of humor's gotta match. Like those things are vital to me.
Yeah.
And if they don't match, I know that you're not for me. And that's different than saying, no, I don't want him. He ain't tall enough or he ain't, it's not nothing frivolous.
Right.
This was literally, I didn't even think I liked him. Then I found out he was a nice dude. But then I found out we ain't have enough in common.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
But now today you end a relationship. That could have been my life. That dude could have snapped on me.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Thank God I got out of that.
Thank God.
But
Break
I'm-
up
But
over
I try to be very respectful.
Yeah.
Even when you're ending something. You don't have to be nasty or cold. I don't believe in ghosting people. I think that builds up to very negative stuff. To just ghost somebody as well. I don't believe in that. Just tell them you're no longer interested.
Do it
Now,
over.
however you do that, however you break things off. But that's it. But you got to get out once you know somebody ain't
Yeah.
down for you.
Do it over the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm
Skip
talking
that
about a
person to
text
person.
message.
Text them. Do whatever. Don't meet.
I'll talk to you on the phone or leave a text. I
Yeah.
usually leave a text though
Don't-
because on the phone they'll start snapping off
Yeah.
and it's just like I'm not
I
here
don't
for
want to
this.
deal with this
I'm not
anymore.
here for this.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they snap off on the text, then you can just press the block button, and you never
it's
have to
done.
see or hear from them again.
And be done
They're
with it.
That in-person thing is
I
the
have
killer.
blocked many. I blocked a lot of people in my life.
Oh, yes, baby.
I know
yes.
exactly where that block button
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Okay,
And know how to use it.
I use it.
And don't
anyway.
give out your address so quick.
Oh, man. But this is the thing these
Yeah,
days. They just have, you can go on Google and find.
Yeah,
That's
and
true.
you can. But
anything.
mama, they're out here following people. Ain't nobody giving no address.
Yeah.
These fools are following you
Like
home.
an undercover detective.
That's crazy.
Ain't that awful?
So now
What?
in my mind, I'm
Check
thinking
your
to
rear
myself,
view. Try to
I'm
check.
gonna go someplace else after dates and then go home. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna go somewhere and then go home. Like I'm gonna check my surroundings and try to figure out, what's going on.
Right.
I'm gonna
This
just,
is really
I'm gonna make
sick.
some stops knots.
Okay, some figure eights.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the next question.
Wow.
Lamar, you got our last question here.
The last question is, my sister is relocating to another city and sent my nephew, her son, to live with our brother and his girlfriend temporarily while she finishes her preparations. I've recently spent time with my nephew and he seems unhappy, which is opposite of his usual personality. Should I be concerned or am I overreacting?
Well, he might just miss his mom. I mean, I would just ask him. If that was my nephew, I would just come straight up and ask him, are you okay? You seem a little different or sad, and, you miss your mom. She's coming back. She just had, I would just simply ask him. But it might be that he missed his mom. But I don't think you're overreacting. If you notice something, say something to him. And I don't think that's overreacting at all.
Okay. I am totally against letting children live with other people outside of their parents. Because, number one, unless there's like a medical emergency, or you are having some type of addiction issue, you need to get something like that. I understand that the mom is preparing for them to have a new life somewhere else. She's relocating. But even if it's your brother or your family member or your sibling or whatever, you never quite know what's going on in other people's houses. And you don't want to put a helpless child in a situation to be traumatized.
True. But I can only dig from my own inner self. Like my sister, if it was something going on with me, my kids, I know I'm safe with my sister because she's me. She's an extension of me. And if she got my kids, ain't nothing happening to my kids, and I know this. Now, would I send them to anybody in my family? Absolutely not. But my sister, though, her niece and nephew, I ain't got to worry about it. Because she will get rid of any situation that comes against them. Just like I would do if it was my nephew. I wish you would.
Well, that just means you got to know your family.
You really do.
Most people do, though, in these kind of situations.
Right.
You don't really see a mother unless that mother is not a good mother and just doesn't care who takes the kids. If it's one of them mothers, then you might have a problem. But I think whoever this is, you know what kind of sister and what kind of brother you got. And I think that's why he's a little nervous about his nephew. It must be because you don't think he's safe. You know what I mean? Because in my mind, I'm like, why would you immediately think something is wrong with where he's living at? Because you don't think he's safe where he's at. There's something going on there within your brother and his girlfriend and the whole scenario. So for me, it's just like, if you have a bad feeling, even if it's about your own family, I don't care. When it's kids involved, they are the priority. And you obviously feel some kind of way about this situation. So there is probably something wrong with this situation. Because there are people, and there are people in your family where your sister might just be a little slow. She might not be one of them people that can tell that, your brother ain't really no good, right? You see what I'm saying? Because, there's people in the family that be like, what? Oh, he cool?
No.
Right, no. Right.
He's not.
Right.
Right. But because you're oblivious.
That's unfortunate.
And so I feel like that's probably more of what's going on in this particular situation. Because when you have that kind of bad feeling about your niece or your nephew or whatever in a situation where they're with another sibling, there's something going on there, man. You got to get a hold of that. And you know, he also might be, you know, completely upset about moving.
Yeah, he
Like
might be.
overall, because
Yeah.
kids don't like, you know, you're uprooting their whole life. You better have
They
a good reason.
friends,
You know,
they cousin,
The
everybody.
school, everybody.
unless they're moving back to be closer to their family.
Yeah.
You know, and you
Messed
moving
up.
back and your whole family's gonna be there and everything. You know, that's totally different
Yeah, that's
from
something.
than moving somewhere else where y'all literally got to start from scratch.
Yeah.
You know,
That's horrible.
And that can be very jarring.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot going on here, but I think go with your gut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because something is
You know your
telling you
family.
that something
I
ain't
know
right.
mine.
And
Yeah.
even if that boy don't tell you, but you feel like it's something still, I would approach the sister and the brother and be like, "What's going on up in here?"
Yeah.
Because I don't know about all this. What's going on? Like I would put myself directly in the mess.
Yeah.
Because it's warranted because there's a child involved.
Yeah.
I wish you would.
Right.
If I think anything is going on with my niece and nephew,
It's going
I
down.
don't care who is involved. You
Listen.
got to deal with me.
Yeah.
And it ain't gonna be nothing nice.
Baby.
And I will go to jail with a smile upon my face.
Sure will.
Yeah.
It's not a game. And that's how you gotta approach this kind of
That's
scenario
right.
when it comes to kids.
Yeah.
And see,
Yeah.
you gotta know who you dealing with.
Yeah.
Like,
And you
see,
should,
I
yeah.
know my family. There's some I would have sent my kids. My sister, I ain't worried about my kids.
Right.
But some other family members ain't no way this side of the Mississippi. I wouldn't even send my dog,
Right.
let alone my children.
You know.
So I know, you have to know who you're dealing with.
But like I said, some family members are completely oblivious.
That's
Yes.
unfortunate.
They don't get it.
Like
Well,
you said,
It's like,
slow.
girl, you don't get it.
You don't get it.
You sent your child over his house.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
crazy?
Yes. Yes. Because
What's
you.
wrong? And they'll be like, what's wrong with him? Girl, he's a crack addict. First of all, or it was one scenario where like, he a pimp.
Uh-huh.
Like what? He's a pimp.
a
Girl, what
pimp.
is
Go
your
get
problem?
your kids. Go
And
get
why
your
did
nephew.
you do your due diligence before you left your child
And
there?
then if you ain't sure, why don't
Ask
you call
somebody.
somebody else? That's what your mama is for. That's what your aunties are for. Your
Ask somebody.
grandparents. Like ask some of the elders in the family.
Cause everybody know who's
The
who.
elders will tell you.
Everybody knows who's who.
They do.
But
The-
sometimes
Some people
when it
don't. We can't
comes
say
to-
everybody.
Yeah, right.
The
I mean,
elders
some of
will
them,
know.
They know who's who, and they'll tell you, don't send that child over there.
Don't you dare.
Instances have happened
Yes.
where elders can be in denial.
Yes, of course.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
just saying.
Unfortunate.
Usually, that's
Yeah.
a safe bet. You gotta go to somebody for
Somebody.
this information, and everybody know who's the matriarch. That's really what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The matriarch of the family
They know.
is
Yeah.
not oblivious to anything going on in the family. They know everything that is going on in
They
this
sure
family,
know, baby.
and everybody know they the matriarch.
Right.
My
Right.
mama's the matriarch.
You better ask them.
That's
all
right.
of the cousins, all of my cousins and siblings, whoever, everybody know. If you want to know somebody in your family, my mama know who they are.
You better ask somebody, and I will tell you.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to know, keep on
Somebody
trucking,
keeps
baby.
the history,
Yeah.
Keep on trucking.
okay? But if you got to go with your gut.
Yes,
That's what I
Yes.
say.
Absolutely.
You got a bad feeling, you better do something about it, because what you don't want is for something bad to happen to
No.
your nephew, and you
Poor
didn't do or
fella.
say anything.
Right.
No, won't
You
happen
try to
on
live
my
a life
watch.
after that.
Oh, it's over with.
It's over.
Won't happen on my watch.
Okay. Yeah, y'all. We done made it through the 4 questions, and so did you.
All
Okay.
right.
If you want to ask Mama a question next Wednesday, because we have shows every Wednesday, please be sure to follow us on TikTok or Instagram or both at Ask Mama Podcast and DM us your question. Also, at the bottom of this video, if you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a question in the comments section. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps these videos get to more people. If you're listening on Spotify, hey Spotify, we love y'all.
Hey.
Thank y'all for listening in. We appreciate you. And now we're going to get to the next segment, which is the Black-owned Spotlight. And this is where we spotlight Black-owned businesses that we want to make sure that you guys venture out to and support, because economic stability in the Black community is vital. Generational wealth in the Black community is vital. And the only way we're going to get there is if we're supporting each other's businesses. So, and supporting the idea of having your own business, working for yourself. That needs to be more of a goal in our community. So we're going to get to it. I'm going to start us off. My Black-owned business is called Curly Kids Hair Care. It's a hair care line that does shampoo, conditioner, and styling products. And it's available at Target all across the U.S.
Oh, nice.
They also are available online, curlykidshaircare.com. And obviously, it's for Black kids' hair.
Yes.
And it's Black-owned.
That's adorable.
And it's also available in some parts of Africa, Canada, and Europe. So
Wow.
they are international because Black people are international.
That's right,
We
baby.
certainly
And so next time you go to Target and you're getting your kids some conditioner or shampoo for their hair, make sure you check out Curly Kids Hair Care.
That's adorable.
Hey, curly kids.
All right, Mama, what you got?
I've got Shake a Leg. It's a restaurant. I know this.
I was trying to figure
God
out
bless
what it
y'all.
is. Then you said, it's a restaurant. I'm
Yeah.
like, shake a leg. What's that, a club?
Shake a leg.
Shake a leg.
Shake a leg.
Shake a leg.
Hey.
Shake a leg.
Well, baby.
I done wrote a hit.
You don't have.
Funny you-
Copyright.
Funny you didn't say that, Shake a Leg, because the food is so good that they say you shake a leg.
Oh my
That's
God.
why they named it
That's
Shake
some
a Leg.
That's some Southern Black, Southern Black stuff right there.
Ain't that the most?
Oh,
Somebody's grandmama
Oh,
made that.
baby.
You know they did.
Shake, you know how you be eating, sometimes people be talking about, ooh,
This
this
is
is
good.
good. You shake a leg. Baby, and it's on 5512 West Division.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's the black.
Shake a leg.
On
Black,
black,
on
ain't it?
black.
Yeah.
Yes.
Support.
Shake a leg, baby.
Support
Lamar,
it,
what you
y'all.
got?
Okay, so my restaurant is called Soleil, and it is SOULE with the accent.
The little act.
And it's at 3615 West Roosevelt Road
All
on the
right.
west side. And they have great food, beautiful ambiance. Check them out.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Those are our Black-owned businesses,
All right.
y'all. Make sure you venture out.
Mm-hmm.
Support. We're going to move on now to our recommendations. We're going to start with TV or movie, like TV show or movie. Mama, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I could. Mine is from Hulu, and it's called Invisible Beauty, and it's about a model black. Girl, you look like you want to fall out.
I'm trying to hold in the laugh.
This
So
girl
you
talking about.
You talking about Hulu. It's not too early.
It's Hulu.
All right, start over. What's the name of the show?
The name of it is Invisible Beauty, and this black woman, it's by Beth Ann Hardison, and this is like her documentary, and it is really beautiful, and you won't believe who her son is after you watch it, and that's again on Hulu.
Okay.
Okay, baby.
Lamar.
So my show is a Netflix show.
All right.
It is called Homicide New York. And it is giving you real accounts on different homicides in the island of Manhattan.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't know it went down in Manhattan like
Oh,
that.
went
but
down.
it does, baby.
It went down.
It goes down there,
yes.
baby.
Scary stuff.
Oh yeah, so check it out. They have a whole breakdown of like their crime division and how like the department works and what side goes and works on what side. So it is really, really cool. I mean, some of these crimes, I mean, it is true. So some of them are pretty like, whoa, but check it out.
So what I've been watching is a rewatch. I've been, just wanting to laugh. I've just really been wanting to laugh when I get home. And I never finished this show. Like I started watching it, I loved it, and somehow, with all the different shows, I just got tossed so much stuff. I just veered off of it. But now I'm back and I'm looking at I'm in like the 4th season, and I think it's like 7, so I'm really in the middle of it. But Schitt's Creek.
That's it.
And when I tell
Ooh, I
you,
love Schitt's
this
Creek.
is some of the funniest mess I have seen
It's hysterical.
in a long time. These people, I ain't even gonna. If you don't know about Schitt's Creek, you just need to. I'm not even gonna tell you nothing.
Ooh, that's
It's
so
funny.
crazy.
Watch it. Try it. It's on Hulu. It's on. I think it used to be on Netflix. It be on Netflix too sometimes. Like they'll throw it on.
Love it.
But when I tell you, if you just need something to laugh, you just want to laugh. And I mean, it don't matter what episode you're on. When you hear somebody say, David,
Oh.
you just lose it. I
Oh
love
my
this family.
God.
That's all I got to say.
gosh.
I love them. I love them. I love them.
Yeah.
And I had been seeing the thumbnail for
They
it, but I've
are.
never.
Let me tell you something, Lamar.
Yes.
You need to click on that thumbnail.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Click
I
on
love
that
them.
thumbnail.
Okay.
You gonna thank me for this.
Okay.
You gonna thank me for this.
Because I'm thanking you right now for the 3-body problem.
Oh.
You got into the 3-body problem.
I so did.
Didn't that show? And
Yes.
it just taking you some.
Ooh,
See.
I'm like, wow. You know what I said? Because I only watched like maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm going back and starting again.
Yeah, I did too. I started over
Yes.
because I'm like, wait a minute, I wasn't paying enough attention.
And you got to.
You got to.
I can't
got
watch
to.
The
that.
3-body problem. That's still a
No, Lord.
Still.
Do it.
But I'm telling you,
wait.
Schitt's Creek though.
Okay.
Now this is it. Don't leave your kids at Schitt's Creek.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and it's rare that
Ooh,
I
they
like
so
a show
crazy.
that's like all white people.
yeah.
Like, it's rare. I'm sorry. But usually they funny ain't my funny. It's a little corny. But this is funny.
I love them.
Oh, I can't
And
wait.
they did this.
Oh, I can't wait.
They did
crazy.
it. They
I
did
can't
it.
wait.
And there is a random black. There is a random black. And she's funny too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Of course. So yeah, but you should watch that show. My God. Okay, y'all. Let's move on to books. I'm gonna start us off. My book this week is called The Water Dancer, and it's by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Ta-Nehisi.
This is the second book that I have mentioned because I just love him. He's one of my favorite authors. But The Water Dancer is an adventure story about during a time. It's about the war on slavery, which obviously is the Union and the Confederates and what was going on, but also it's a story about this boy who wants to go back to get his family off this plantation, and it talks a lot about the separation of black families during this time and how it correlates to now, and it gives you this visceral look at slavery, the life, the everyday life of a black slave in America. And it's so, it puts you there. The fear and the anger, the despair, the rage, the moments of joy that they were able to come up with in all of that. The separation, taking these women's kids. Black women have been suffering since the beginning of time like no one else on earth. And it is so it's so disarming and vulnerable to speak on these things the way he does. And he really gives me hope for black men.
Yeah,
That
he's
he is
something.
able to speak these truths
Yes,
about black men and black women.
Yes.
We have these struggles as black people. And to do anything but try to unite each other and be loving and positive towards each other is so horrific for what they did for us. That's why it hits me so hard, like all the things we talked about today. Because it's like these black men and women, what they did for us.
Yeah, they did.
And now y'all out here spewing all this hate back and forth. Like
It's
what?
sick.
You spewing all this hate towards black women. Do you know what they did so you could be here?
A lot, Tony.
They would literally have babies. And seconds after they had their baby, a white man would come and take their baby away. And they would never see that baby again.
Sell it.
Can you imagine?
I cannot.
You just went through the worst pain of your life to bring this life into the world. If that don't demand respect throughout the ages, throughout the centuries, nothing will. You know, that's why it's so devastating to look at the state of the black community as a whole right now today.
It is.
It is devastating. And
is.
that's why people are out here pushing unity and pushing, you know, working together and trying to build up our communities and this, that. That's why it's so important to people like me. You know, and Ta-Nehisi Coates, he's writing that truth out here.
Thank you.
Yes,
So
he
for
is.
any
Thank
black
you,
men who want to get right in their
Huh.
head,
Come on.
you need to read everything Ta-Nehisi
Now,
Coates
there
has
you
written.
go.
And thank you for that suggestion, and thank you for that tidbit. Because,
Yes.
you know, a lot of us, it ain't taught in school. Baby.
No,
No.
it definitely is not. They want his books far away from school.
I'm sure
Now, those
they
are
could
the
pile them
books.
up and burn them if they could.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all know why. It's
We all know why.
systematic.
Yeah.
You know, divided, we will surely fall. Together
Divide
we
and
conquer,
conquer.
honey.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's always that speck of hope. And whenever I see a black man doing
Yes,
right,
he is.
I will always speak up for that black man because I need him just as much as he need me.
Ta-Nehisi.
So, Mama,
Yes, sir.
what you got?
Well, ironically, the book I read is called White Rage. Guess we're on a theme tonight. By Carol Anderson. She is a phenomenal professor at Emory University. She's a powerful woman.
Yeah.
And she loves the community, and she teaches African American studies, actually, at Emory. And a brilliant writer, a brilliant professor. So let's start reading some of these books and get ourselves on track so that we can know how to bring our community together, because that's what we got to do. That's it.
Lamar, what you got?
My book is by John Maxwell. It is the 17 Essential Qualities of a Team Player.
Oh,
Yes. So I would suggest you all read this book.
Nice.
It definitely touches on a lot of different components on how to effectively be a part of a team and move people forward and also be leaders.
Yes.
And knowing also when to be led, because that's a very important part of being a leader.
That's right.
So yes, check it out, you all. Self-help, I'm all about it. And I'm going to also check out you all's books.
That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Educational reads.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
These are beautiful books.
We always be giving y'all good recommendations, y'all. If this is your first episode, you got about 12 episodes you can go back through, and there's a whole ton of great recommendations and
It
subject
certainly
matter.
is.
So make sure you go do that.
You know what I just realized? We have a whole Netflix season worth of binge-worthy content.
We
You really
do.
could. And restaurants. Shake a leg.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Good
We
restaurant.
got y'all set for the summer,
12
okay?
episodes.
Sure
Yeah, this
do.
number
That's a
13 right
season.
here.
That's-
So
Come on now.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's it's some good stuff we
we're
recommend.
cooking with grease.
That's right, baby.
Sure is.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to music. Mama, what you got?
For every mountain
Uh-oh.
you've brought me over.
Hey,
Woo!
man, yes.
Baby, the
Yes.
Kurt Carr singers. I can't
Ugh.
really get through.
We can't even do it.
Oh,
we can't
I
do
can't
nothing more
even
than
do
that.
no more.
We can't do
Because
nothing more than that. Because then
I
this
will
mic is going to have to get pushed away.
tear this mic,
and then I'm
all
going to have to
this
lift
stuff.
up. And
I'm
we're going to have to
gonna be
go to the
lifting-
Lord.
Yes.
I'm,
That's it.
baby, when I tell you this song has
It's got
blessed
to be
me,
one of the most incredible
I
gospel
can't
songs
sit through it.
ever written.
I can't sit through it without going
Woo!
actually in
Woo!
to the holies of holies
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
meeting the master right
For
there.
every mountain.
For every mountain.
Yeah.
He's brought me over.
He's
I
seen-
thank him for this.
Woo!
I give you praise.
Yes.
Okay. That's it.
Amen.
That's it.
Now.
Let's leave it.
That's
Leave it. Lamar.
Because, yeah, they'll
What's your-
end up getting
what-
church. You'll get church.
We got to stay.
be laid out up in here.
We sure will. My feet will be on this table.
Oh, Lord.
So for us to be so holy and meant for me to just take it completely secular.
That's all
Hey,
right.
we are
Like a heathen.
not perfect
Hey.
human beings. We don't
Amen.
have to be perfect. We can have a lot of stuff going on.
We can.
What's your song?
My song I've
Oh,
been
Lord.
bumping like it just came out is none other than the great Tupac
Oh,
Shakur.
I love Tupac.
What you won't do for love.
Oh, yeah, the little, yeah.
Yes, and the video when he was a cartoon and a claymation. I know y'all remember that video.
Bless his heart.
Tupac Shakur, one of the greatest to ever do it, baby.
Yes, he
Yeah,
was
and that's
one of
a
my
jam.
favorites.
That's a jam. For me, this week or last week, I was really into this album, and I sometimes an album come back on, you like, man, this was cold. Like from start to finish. I love albums. Only albums I love are ones you can listen to start to finish. If it's not a start to finish, you know, it's just one song or two that I
Right.
like, and that's it.
Right.
This is a start to finish, and it's one of those albums that people kind of slept on to me. And it's by Sade. And it's the Lovers Rock album, where she does, By Your Side and King of Sorrow,
King
and
of Sorrow.
every word. Like, it's not the big Sade songs that she's known for, but this album, from start to finish, you won't skip any. You can just put this on, and it's a vibe for however long it plays. Wow. You don't need to skip nothing. It is beautiful.
That's Sade.
She sounds amazing. The lyrics are amazing. She's just a great songwriter and singer.
Certainly is.
And I appreciate her. I wish she would do another album because she's still one of my favorite artists of all time. So, Lovers Rock, y'all.
Ooh.
Sade.
Sade.
Okay. Yo, we talked about a lot. We've
Yes,
been
we
talking
Sure
for a
did.
while. So this week, if you really enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe.
Come on.
Follow us on
Thumbs up.
Ask Mama Podcast, TikTok, Instagram. And we will see y'all next Wednesday for another episode of Ask Mama. So y'all take care. Be safe out there. Be encouraged. We love y'all.
We love you.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye.